I don't know if you remember this. This was what back. I think we were like fifth grade, maybe. This was around. I'm probably gonna date both of us here. Mitt Romney versus Barack Obama,
Yeah, that would have been fifth grade.
and um, in there was I don't know. I think it was just the one time, but I think at least in our class, um, the teacher was like, okay, we're getting to a point where we're growing a little older. We need to kind of understand certain things of the world, and obviously this was part of the history lesson that we were learning. She was like, okay, so we have two, potential presidential candidates. Geez, Mitt Romney, Barack Obama. She laid out a few viewpoints that both parties had, and then said, okay, let's see who is swaying Mitt Romney's side, and then people raise their hand. And who is swaying Obama's side? People raise their hand, and then they were like, okay, well, why do you guys think that? And then you'd have, a few people in the class debating one side or the other, right? Fast forward to today. Now, I don't know what the educational curriculum is. I doubt they'll have those kinds of conversations at fifth grade level anymore, but I don't know, and I doubt that they even have conversations like that anymore because the environment around politics is become so toxic
Yeah,
that if you share a certain viewpoint, if it doesn't align with somebody else's viewpoint, you're essentially putting a target on your own back. And it's so dumb that we've gotten to a point like that because, you know, First Amendment right, which has been the biggest talk over the past couple of weeks now since this whole situation. But even more than that, it's been the talk for years now just because of everything that's been going on. It's become to a point where that that amendment is kind of slowly being filtered away in a sense because people have to some degree watch what they're saying or else there are dire consequences to it. And I mean, it's so it's crazy to me that we've gotten to a point where if somebody has an opinion that isn't aligned with another person's opinion, then the other person gets outraged, gets very, affected by it negatively, gets very frustrated and angry about it. But if the tables are turned, that same person that would get angry about a difference in opinions would then say, well, I mean, I have my First Amendment right for freedom of speech. Like, why can't I, I should be able to say what I want to say. And it's become such a hypocritical society today because, the freedom of speech is only existent if opinions are the same. And that's not what the First Amendment is. The First Amendment is you have the ability to express your opinions and talk about what you believe without having to worry about, you know, any negativity surrounding that because essentially you have the right to talk, right? Like it's
yeah.
basically like, somebody putting a muffle on your mouth. Like they're basically preventing you from speaking your mind. And I mean, I'll agree certain things shouldn't necessarily be said, but at the same time, to what point are we going to be filtered? To what point are we going to be, limited on what we can say and what we can't say?